Well, ATB is a company we started well over 25 years ago, and it literally stands for Anthony and Trina Burks.
Well, ATB, again, stands for our name, but we kind of went out and brought the community involved.
On the course of the last 25 years, we've partnered with different organizations throughout the community and a lot of art-based businesses. We work with businesses that support local artists, so they put in a word for us to other communities and people. So Boyz II Men started out, my husband and myself talked a lot about how we noticed that there was a large percentage of women that were getting recognition for being artists, but we noticed that there was a level of artists that were not getting recognized as male artists. So what we decided to do, we put together an exhibition. We reached out to different people. So it was initially to give homage to the male artists in Palm Beach County, and it kind of expanded to South Florida male artists.
Being involved with Boyz II Men is a great opportunity. I know of the show, have known of the show. First heard about it when I first met the Burks years and years ago. And they've been doing this a few times, and I'm happy to be a part of it because it, like most art shows will do, it has evolved. And its purpose is still the same, but has changed slightly to suit the needs of the scene. The scene is growing. Everyone can notice that just by driving around and seeing all the public art, for example. So being in the show is pretty much an honor because I get to work alongside the Burks on Continuum, which is a pop-up in West Palm Beach. So I know how they do things, and I appreciate how they do things, and they do things to a T. Their shows are fun to attend, beautiful to look at, so well curated, well organized. So I've seen it from both sides of the coin. And honestly, the best thing about this is that I'm not organizing it. I'm not helping to set anything up. I'm bringing the art, and I'm like, thank you guys for the opportunity, and that's it.
I paint in oils. Now, I've been drawing since I was a kid. The years of drawing led me to art, and I decided to buy, believe it or not, a numbered oil set. So I painted by numbers for a couple of years, on and off, just playing with it. Then I would take the numbered structure guide and I would play with it. I wouldn't stick with the numbers. And from there, they went away, and I've been painting ever since. I've never had an art lesson in my life, never, not one.
I prefer ceramics, pottery, love to do raku. When I'm approaching artwork, it's really because it's something that's in my head or something I've seen. Oh, I love this, I want to, produce this. That's just the way I approach it. I have to have an interest. But yes, at the same time, I'm looking at something that's based on my past. I want to bring that back because to me that was a beautiful thing growing up, and you don't see that. So that's something I can relate to that, yet at the same time that impressed me. And I think people want to see the beauty of the past, even though we're moving on into the future.
Well, I'd say tattooing got me into painting more. When I was young, I was always drawing. I was influenced by, probably at the beginning, mostly from comics. I remember when I was young, there was something at the Norton that they would have, like kind of just south of the Norton, there was that little building there, and they would do art classes on the summer. And I remember my mom taking me there to do that. Yeah. And I was probably maybe 12, I think, when I was doing that. There's some similarities between painting and tattooing. At some degree with the initial drawing. But the big difference is that with tattooing, you can't layer like you can with paint. With tattooing, it's more like, I'd say it's more probably like watercolor or marker or Prismacolor, color pencil, where you have to leave those spaces for the light parts. Whereas painting, I build it up and I do my whites last. So that's the big difference between the two.
Photography, particularly large format, military cameras, that turned out to be ideal for my primary subject at the time, which was space shuttle liftoff. They gave me a perspective and a look that was completely different than what I was seeing when you would look at coverage of the space shuttle. Well, you're photographing large things, and so to really appreciate what's going on, if you make a little 8x10, it's just not going to have the same impact as a large print. But I also use large format film. In the day of digital, I figured the only way that I would stand out in a major way was to go to something that nobody else was using. So I used panoramic cameras to capture the true size of what was happening. Instead of zooming in on just the shuttle and a little bit of the engine, I could get the whole picture and have it in high resolution, so it looks good.
The artistic medium that I've chosen to pursue is photography. I've been doing photography for years now, and I've found like such a passion in it. And I really love working in the digital realm, but also going back to traditional photography. When I capture my images, the story that I want my audience to see is really something that can be different to anyone that views it, as long as you're getting something from the photograph and you feel something from the photograph. I feel like my job was complete. And I just want to show people that everyone is so alike, but so unique in their own way, but no one's better than anyone.
I think that it's all, like you say, a marriage of all the community people getting together and showing that this is all important.
Working with the Burks, and any artist who has done so can attest to this fact, working with the Burks is always a pleasure.